So I thought the Moto G73 was a great phone under rupees 20,000. Enter the iQOO Z7. Hi, I'm Arshad. You're watching Trakin English. Let's talk a little bit more about this great budget phone. Setting the context, the predecessor iQOO Z6 was priced under rupees 15,000, and even today, for that price, you get Snapdragon 695 and IPS LCD display with 120Hz refresh rate. It's a great buy, and you can actually buy the phone from the product buying link that should be there down below. Go check it out. In comparison, the iQOO Z7 is priced under rupees 20,000, so the price category is slightly different. Now, talking about the Z7, this one's a looker. Just look at this rear panel. The plastic back has a nice brushed metal finish to it, and when light hits it at different angles, it's got these nice reflections going on the back as well. Although it is this bold two-step camera module design that gives it a completely premium feel. It's reminiscent of the camera module that was introduced in the Vivo X50 and the X60 series. Yes, the phone is made of plastic, but if plastic can be made to look this good, I'll take it. The back panel is entirely flat, and it's got flat sides as well and rounded edges too, making it easy to hold and use in the hand. And to add to that, it's only about 7.8 millimeters thick and weighs only 173 grams. Therefore, the in-hand feel becomes even better. The ergonomics are really good. But it's not all about the looks for the iQOO Z7. You get a 3.5mm headphone jack. You get a micro SD card slot in the hybrid SIM tray, which supports up to 1 TB, SD cards as well. But more importantly, you get IP54 rating as well, which makes it dust proof and water resistant too. But while it does look good, you get all the functional features that you expect from a great budget Android phone. Although you get only a single speaker at the bottom, and it's a mono speaker. Now, the speaker can get loud, but it does get slightly tinny, and you can hear some sibilance in the high notes. You know what? Take a listen for yourself and let me know what you guys think. Part of what makes the phone small is that it's got a smaller 6.38-inch display on the front with short sensation glass as well. Comparatively, in this price range, you get larger displays. By the way, under rupees 20,000, if any brand offers a phone with a good processor, it generally bundles it with an IPS LCD panel. iQOO has a different idea. So you get an AMOLED panel, yes, but it's 90Hz refresh rate and not 120Hz, which is still very good because you get variable refresh rate, so it can switch between 30, 60 and 90 depending on the content that's playing on the screen. It's also a bright panel when you take it outdoors, and it can reach a peak brightness of 1300 nits when you're playing HDR content. Now you must be wondering, so what if it's bright? It's not going to support HDR on Netflix, but that's where you'd be wrong. Yes, you get HDR10 plus support on YouTube and Netflix, and when you play back videos on this phone, it definitely looks very good and can put some other phones to shame. The icing on the cake is that you also get 360Hz of touch sampling rate, which can go up to 1200Hz of instant touch sampling rate, all while gaming. But for an instant jump in our subscriber count, I'd need your support, so hit that subscribe button and support our work, and also hit the bell icon to get notified whenever we put out an awesome new tech video. Almost everything is great about the display, but what's the catch? Well, the catch is that this phone has a water drop notch, and a punch hole camera would have been a nice addition. Now, part of the display is also the in-display fingerprint scanner. Yes, you get an in-display fingerprint scanner. It's placed a little low for my liking, but it unlocks really fast. Well, about the haptic feedback, it's soft, it's not great, so it's better to switch it off. Now let's talk about the cameras on the phone. Well, camera, because there's only one worthy one, and that's the Samsung GW3 64MP sensor. That's the primary camera. The secondary one is a bokeh sensor. That's of course on the rear. On the front, you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. In the very limited camera testing that I've done though, the primary camera is pretty competent, I must tell you that. You get sharp details in landscape shots where there is ample light. Even the dynamic range is good. In fact, take a look at this non-HDR sample and HDR sample side by side to see the kind of HDR correction that the phone applies. And apart from that, the color sense is close to natural, and people pictures and portraits do look very good with close to natural skin tones as well. Low light shots also look good with night mode active on the primary camera and a super night mode available as well. But I'll have to compare it with another phone to see exactly how it fares. Which phone would you like me to compare it with? Let me know in the comment section below. Selfies look very good if you're shooting in even lighting. HDR performance could have been better, and the portrait edge cutout could have been slightly better too. But video recording is where iQOO does a good job in my opinion. So you get 4K 30fps video recording from the rear camera, and you also get the option to shoot HDR videos at 1080p 30fps. Now, why do I say video recording is good? Because iQOO uses OIS plus EIS for stabilization, the standard stabilization, which is available even at the highest 4K 30fps resolution. In fact, the standard stabilization is available across every single recording resolution, and you also get a super stable mode which tops out at 1080p 30 FPS. I noticed that the standard stabilization is pretty good, and I've generally noticed other brands faltering in video stabilization in this price category, where iQOO actually does a good job. You know what I'll do? I'll actually add a G Drive link to all the samples in the description below. You go and check it out for yourself and let me know what you think. Now, coming to the main reason why the Z7 is a great value for money phone, because it comes with the Dimensity 920 system on chip inside. And our unit is the 8GB 128GB variant of the phone. You get LPDDR4X RAM and UFS 2.2 storage as well. Now, we've spoken at length about how the Dimensity 920 performs. You get Antutu scores upwards of 4,75,000. You also get great Geekbench scores too. Plus, the CPU is stable, it doesn't throttle too much, and even if you're gaming, you can game for long sessions without the phone heating up or you worrying about throttling either. Under 20k, after the 778G, the 920 would be the second most powerful SoC that you can get. Now, performance, of course, is something that we know about the Dimensity 920, but how iQOO adds more value on top of it is by bringing in its gaming DNA. For example, you get 6 motion control options, which is also available on the iQOO Neo 7, and you also get support for gyroscope too. Plus, when you use the phone daily, it's smooth, it's fast, it opens apps fast, so it doesn't stutter too much either, so that's very good. And clearly, if you're looking for a phone with great performance and gaming in this price range, then you cannot go wrong with the iQOO Z7. Now remember, the phone is a slim phone, so the battery inside is a 4500 mAh unit, and you get a 44-watt charger in the box. So you can charge your phone from 0 to 100 in about an hour or slightly more. Now this is a 5G chip, so you also get support for 6 5G bands, and Jio also runs absolutely fine on this. We tested, it can go up to 1 Gbps speeds or sometimes even higher. On the software front, the Z7 comes with FunTouchOS 13 based on Android 13 in comparison to Redmi, which still offers only Android 12. To add to that, iQOO also promises 2 years of software updates and 3 years of security updates. See, FunTouchOS is not the most polished or premium software experience considering all the bloatware that's there and the UI UX inconsistencies that you see, but the fact that you get support for so long and that iQOO has been providing software updates on time is definitely a good thing. So even if I feel that iQOO needs to do some more work on the polish of the software, I really like the fact that they're at least providing updates on time. I'm sure you guys have noticed this. To make and sell a phone under rupees 20,000, it's a clever game of permutation combination. I think iQOO has managed to have a right proportion of everything: great performance, good design, good display, good primary camera performance, decent selfies, all of that. And certain decisions and omissions can also be overlooked considering how the whole package is pretty good. For example, while it lacks an ultra wide angle camera, it's more of a problem in an expensive phone like the iQOO Neo 7. On this, you can sort of forgive it. Or for that matter, if you think drop notch is a concern, then you at least get an AMOLED panel with HDR10 Plus support out of the box. Again, so you can't fault it too much. So yeah, good job, iQOO. Now, more detailed content around the iQOO Z7 is in the works. What would you guys like to see? What do you guys think of the phone? Definitely, let's have a conversation. Those were my thoughts on the iQOO Z7. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.